Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, I am joined by Julie Colombino Billingham, and she is the founder of Domain, which in Creole means two hands. It is a women-owned fashion brand, solar-powered fashion brand, and it was founded after the earthquake in 2010 when Julie saw all the devastation. She wanted to start a company that gives dignified jobs and wealth and opportunity. So we're going to be talking to her about her company and everything that she's up to and going to be up to. So Julie, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Curtis.
Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So like you said, I have a fashion company in Haiti, and it's been going strong for about 15 years now. But it really started, not in any way did I set out to start a fashion company. I'm a trained disaster responder. And so when the earthquake happened in 2010, I just deployed thinking I would spend a couple weeks in Haiti, and it kind of just changed my life. And so I went from I was a professional ballet dancer, and I worked for a charity in Orlando, Florida, to having a business in Haiti. So my life really radically changed about 15 years ago.
Well, talk about how your company provides luxury design with ethical craftsmanship.
Yeah. So when we first started our company, we were just making bags and leather accessories that were nice to have, and they were okay, I guess. But over the years, we decided we really wanted to tell a different story about Haiti, one that really showed the craftsmanship and artistry, the wisdom of the Haitian people. We wanted to incorporate basket weaving into the leather. So we really focused on design and craftsmanship. And now we have about 45 craftspeople in our factory in Haiti, handcrafting these like really beautiful bags. And we hope just to tell a different story. A lot of people, when they think about Haiti, they think about poverty and corruption and political instability. And all of those things are very true. But there's also a whole nother side to the island that people don't know about, the resiliency and the artistry and the talent. And that's what we hope our handbags, that's the story that we hope that they tell. And we're pretty excited. We became fair trade verified last year, and through that it opened a lot of doors, and right now we're selling in Nordstrom's. And so that's been a really great opportunity to get the bags in front of a whole new audience of people who now can choose ethical fashion instead of mass production, and we think that's pretty exciting.
What can you explain the significance of providing jobs instead of charity?
Sure, absolutely. So, I mean, my kind of revolutionary moment was when I was in Haiti. I was, providing charity and handing out water in tents. And I was in this camp about 6 weeks after the earthquake. And this woman grabbed my arm and she said, "Hey, white lady, I don't want any water, but I need a job." And it was like this catalytic moment where I realized that Haiti, yes, did suffer from the earthquake and this terrible natural disaster. But even before the earthquake, it was suffering from this poverty that was all around, and it was suffocating people because there were so few opportunities to work. And I just really decided that I was going to listen and learn. And instead of bringing all of the things that I thought I knew about development and I thought I knew about disaster response, and I just said, leave it all at the door, listen to the people of Haiti. And that woman, really revolutionized my life. And then I just heard that kind of um, constant whisper throughout the tent camps. We need jobs, we need work, we need jobs, we need work. And I found out that there was a 79% unemployment rate in Haiti. And that is just outrageous. I mean, 79% unemployment is a pretty horrific stat. And so we decided that, okay, if we're going to, help bring economic freedom to not only earthquake survivors, but all these incredible talented artisans in Haiti, we would have to open up our own factory. And creating jobs changes everything, because when somebody's financially free and no longer the recipient of charity, they live their life with pride and dignity, just like you or I or anybody else wants to do. I've found all over the world, no matter what country, no matter, what economic level, all people want to work. They want that dignity.
What does your company do to ensure that your products are sustainably and responsibly made?
So we use what's called overrun or dead stock leather. So we responsibly source all of our leather. And basically what that means is, like, if, let's say, a big brand like Michael Kors does a run of 100,000 square feet of red leather and they only use 80,000 square feet, sometimes that 20,000 square feet of leather would either be burned or thrown away. Well, we buy that excess leather and we make our bags from that to help ensure that there's little or less waste in the world. We also, try to source everything from the island of Haiti, the island of Hispaniola. So either on our side or on the Dominican Republic side. And of course, everything, because we're fair trade, is made, um, ethically and responsibly. We pay living wages, of course. We use solar powered energy in our factory. So it's 100% solar powered. And we've just kind of created our own ecosystem to maintain, health of our community and health of the little part of the island that we're responsible for.
Well, talk about the challenges you have faced as a female entrepreneur running a fair trade verified solar powered factory in Haiti.
Well, yeah, there's been so many. I think as a female, what I've noticed is, you're not as respected at the table. And also, I'm a foreigner. I'm American and going into Haiti, so I was a foreign woman in Haiti in the fashion industry. And so it just, I kind of had all these little dings against me. Believe it or not, sometimes I kind of thought fashion would be more female dominated, but it's actually a very male dominated industry as well. So like access to funding has always been a challenge. And also not just being female, but being based in Haiti, people, don't feel comfortable investing in a Haitian brand because of all the turmoil. Um, and we've also just seen, you're not taken as seriously. You have less of access to capital, which is really the biggest one. But we've managed for the past 15 years, and we'll keep going, Curtis.
Okay, well, let's talk about upcycling and circular design. Talk about
Okay.
how that plays a role in your company.
So, quite honestly, we don't upcycle as much as we used to. But prior to about 4 years ago, our main product used to be recycled tire sandals. We used to cut the sidewalls of tires out and make that as the sole of our sandal. And that was the product we made for almost a decade. But due to I know this sounds very strange, but the increasing gang violence in Haiti, we can no longer safely collect tires. So we can no longer make our recycled tire sandals. So now we fully focus on making handbags for export. But something that we did start doing was making leather school shoes for Haitian children. We really wanted to make a product that was for the local community, for the local market. Haitian children have to wear school uniforms, and that includes a very particular leather, kind of like a Mary Jane shoe. And so a lot of kids, didn't have access to these shoes. So we decided we would start making them in country, and we've produced thousands and thousands of pairs of school shoes for kids, and that's been really exciting for us. Really fun part of our business.
Well, let's talk about the global partnerships that you've developed and how they are impacting your mission.
Okay. So I would say right now, or I mean, we can start at the beginning. In the early days, we partnered with the United Nations, and when USAID was a thing, they were the first investors of our factory. So those partnerships were very, very important. USAID gave us our first grant to employ the first 12 women that we had at our factory. So um, the partnerships really mean everything, because doing building a business on your own is absolutely impossible, but building a business in the developing world without that kind of support, I don't know how it would be possible. And if you fast forward to today, the partnerships, like particularly with Nordstrom, I mean, it's like 5x our sales, and it's given us access to a whole new line of customers and people who can learn the story of Haiti, learn about ethical manufacturing, put these bags that are made in Haiti in their hands and get to experience what Haitian craftsmanship is like, and hopefully, share the story of Haiti and people who are making these products and manufacturing in a whole different way that is respectful of the planet. It's not mass produced. It's not made with polyethylene or PU, which is a plastic. These are genuine products. So the partnerships amplify our voice is really, I guess, the best way to put it.
We'll talk about your upcoming memoir. Tell readers what they can expect when they read it and where to get it and what you hope readers take away from it.
Oh, thanks for asking. Okay, so I just published a memoir, From Lost to Legacy: How a Fashion Business Rose from Haiti's Rubble. And really, how it started, it was my journal from 15 years ago. And so I just couldn't believe the depth of devastation that I witnessed in those early days. I couldn't process it, so I just had to write a lot of things down. And then as the years progressed, and we started building this business and realizing that, oh my gosh, we really have something here. I wanted to document all the mistakes that we made in hopes to make almost like a textbook to help young entrepreneurs or people in the developing world learn from our mistakes. So I very meticulously wrote down every challenge, every mistake I made, everything that I would have done differently in hopes to help others. And then as I got older, I started, you know, realizing that my life and the things that I've gone through in my life have been dramatically affected by living in Haiti. I met my husband in Haiti. I built a family there. So it's just like all these things. And my publisher said, this isn't a textbook. This is a memoir. So we really just try to openly discuss all the different challenges. And then the other thing that I did was I interviewed about 50 people, from my Haitian colleagues to volunteers to customers to donors to different peoples, to get all the different perspectives of all the different types of people it takes to build something like this. So in the story, you can read about a ton of other stories, and especially my Haitian colleagues. Each one of them has an incredible story. And because some of them don't speak English, I feel really proud that their stories have been translated and available for people to to read and to understand, because they're really amazing.
Well, tell us about any upcoming projects that you're working on that listeners need to be aware of.
Oh my gosh, well, we're just continuing to make new collections. We'll have a new collection coming out in spring of 2026. We recently did a collaboration with my husband. He's on a television show called Special Forces, and he did a very male focused luxury travel line. So we were mostly a women's brand, but he wanted to help us incorporate some men's products. So we just launched a new collection with him, which was really fun. And yeah, we're going to just hopefully just produce more and more handbags, get more customers, get more people interested in the brands, and create a ton more jobs.
We'll throw out your contact info so people can keep up with everything that you're up to.
Okay, well, our website is deuxmains.com, which is DEUXMAINS.com. And our Instagram handle is deuxmains_official.
All right, close us out with some final thoughts. Maybe if there was something I forgot to talk about that you would like to touch on, or any final thoughts you have for the listeners.
Oh my gosh, Chris, you've asked so many great questions. The last thing I would just say is that, every person has so much power with the way that they consume goods, what they buy. It really, really makes a difference when you buy something that is made fair trade, and it impacts other people's life. So I just, I learned in Haiti, like, how the kind of woman I wanted to be, the responsibility I wanted to have in my life, and the power that I have as a consumer. And so I just wanted to say to all of our customers and anybody who buys fair trade, thank you. And if you haven't yet experienced a brand that is, making things ethically and ensuring that everybody on the manufacturing line makes a fair wage, check it out, because, buying less and buying better really does impact your soul.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, check it out, and please share this episode to as many people as possible out there. Also, please be sure to visit www.curveball337.com for more information on the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, and share the show to as many people as you know. Thank you for joining me and listening and supporting the show. And Julie, thank you for all that you're doing and making the world a better place. And thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you, Curtis. It was really fun.
For more information on the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, visit www.curveball337.com. Until next time, keep living the dream.